Hello everyone, welcome to my update US gossip channel. Cody trying to shut down Mary by asking to sign a confidentiality agreement? Sister Wives is preparing to air one of its most emotional episodes of the season. In a newly released preview clip, Mary Brown breaks down. In it, she describes a tense dispute involving the sale of the family's Coyote Pass property. Her point of view on the matter hints at secrecy and a disagreement that went far deeper than just paperwork. Viewers have watched the land saga unfold for years, but this new reveal adds another dimension to the conflict. The preview raises major questions about how the negotiations unfolded and who was pushing for what behind the scenes. What exactly was Mary asked to sign? And why did the request trigger such an emotional response? Keep reading to know more. A long, complicated road toward selling Coyote Pass. The matter of Coyote Pass property has been a storyline among the Browns since 2018. The reality TV family moved to Flagstaff with a plan to build a shared compound, hoping to keep their blended family close. From the start, the family struggled to agree on how to divide the land. Mary disliked her assigned plot, and frustrations continued to rise. Christine later exited the marriage and sold her stake back to Cody in 2022. Mary and Janelle followed her out of the plural union, leaving Robyn as the only remaining wife. Janelle later shared that she had doubts about Cody's intentions during the sale discussions and felt he wasn't handling the process fairly. But with the land finally sold for $1.5 million in real life, this saga is soon to reach its climax. Sister Wives, Cody confronted Mary over confidentiality agreement in emotional preview. The latest Sister Wives preview shows a tense moment as Mary explains the conflict surrounding Coyote Pass. She becomes emotional as she describes Cody asking her to sign a confidentiality agreement during the sale. According to her, he blamed her for slowing the process and accused her of being the problem. Mary tearfully questioned why he wanted to silence her and why secrecy was suddenly necessary. Cody then shared his side in a separate confessional. Cody said that Janelle pushed him to either honor Mary's wishes or move forward without her. He even admitted to considering a backdoor deal with Janelle to sell the land without Mary and Christine's consent. Robyn rejected the idea, telling him she would not participate unless the deal were perfectly fair. She called herself the big fat rock in the way, refusing to let the sale proceed under those terms. Janelle then clarified that Cody technically could have forced the sale, though she didn't believe it was the right choice. Cody recalled Robyn confronting him, asking where the generous man she once admired had gone. Her words pushed him to reflect on his behavior and claim he needed to become a better man. Mary quietly responded, no, when the director asked her if signing the agreement would have prevented her from speaking out if the property had been sold without her. She then broke down, saying it King breaks my heart to think the family she once trusted would treat her that way. In the most emotionally charged and jaw-dropping chapter of Sister Wives yet, the Brown family's long-buried resentments, whispered accusations, and unraveling alliances finally collide in a way viewers never expected, turning the already messy Coyote Pass saga into a full-scale eruption of mistrust, heartbreak, and raw truth, beginning with Robyn's shocking claim that Janelle had been stealing from the family funds, a claim that immediately sent shockwaves through the plural household because nobody, and truly nobody, keeps financial receipts, screenshots, and meticulously organized documents like Janelle Brown, who has spent years holding this family together by tracking every dollar that came into their shared accounts and every dollar that mysteriously vanished whenever Cody made one of his executive decisions. And when Robyn dared to insinuate that Janelle had taken more than her fair share, Janelle calmly walked into the living room, dropped a color-coded binder the size of a school textbook on the table, and said, I kept every receipt, leaving Robyn speechless, Cody defensive, and Mary stunned because, in that moment, the narrative shifted. Janelle wasn't the one hiding anything, and the weight of that realization made Robyn scramble to reframe her accusation, insisting she misspoke or misinterpreted the numbers even as the cameras caught her looking increasingly cornered, while Cody shifted in his chair, suddenly fidgeting and avoiding eye contact, as if worried about what else Janelle had documented, what else she could prove, what other discrepancies she could pull out from that binder if pushed. But the financial accusations were only the tip of the iceberg because what really shattered viewers, and Mary, was what happened next. Cody, already frustrated that the Coyote Pass sale was dragging on longer than he wanted, turned his attention to Mary with a level of cold strategy that stunned everyone, asking her to sign a confidentiality agreement. Under the guise of streamlining the process, but the fine print, which Mary later described through tears in her confessional, would have effectively prevented her from speaking out, voicing concerns, or challenging decisions related to the sale, which made her feel like Cody wasn't just trying to rush the paperwork, he was trying to silence her for good, to erase her voice from the last big family decision she was still connected to. And when she confronted him asking why her input suddenly needed to be sealed behind legal language, Cody insisted that she was holding things up and making everything harder, putting the blame entirely on her shoulders, even though she had every legal right to ask questions and every emotional right to want clarity, especially considering all the years she spent being pushed to the margins of the marriage and the family. And as Mary sobbed in her interview chair, admitting it, King broke my heart to think that the man she once trusted would rather shut her down than work with her. The episode took a deeper turn when Cody, in his own confessional, tried to justify his actions by revealing that Janelle had backed him into a corner, telling him he either needed to honor Mary's concerns or proceed without her consent, a statement that shocked fans because it showed just how fractured the relationships had become behind the scenes. And Cody admitted he even thought about making a backdoor deal with Janelle to move forward without both Mary and Christine's approval. Something that could have legally forced the sale but emotionally destroyed the family beyond repair, a possibility that horrified Robyn, who, in one of her most surprising moments all season, refused to participate unless the deal was perfectly fair, calling herself the big fat rock in the way because she wouldn't let Cody bulldoze the process or cut corners. But even this stance, noble as it sounded, came too late to ease the tension that had been building for months, especially after the accusation against Janelle, which left her feeling betrayed by the one person, Robyn, she once tried so hard to trust, and Janelle made it clear in her own confessional that the accusation wasn't just wrong, it was insulting, because she had financially supported this family for decades, quietly subsidizing shortfalls, covering childcare, paying bills, and contributing more than her share while receiving far less emotional support in return, and now, standing there with her binder full of receipts, she realized how deeply the narrative had been twisted against her, and the pain of that realization blended with her determination to no longer be blamed for problems she didn't create, while Mary, meanwhile, continued to grapple with the emotional blow of the confidentiality agreement request, explaining that even if signing it wouldn't have legally prevented her from speaking out if the sale went through without her, the request itself symbolized something so much bigger, a final attempt by Cody to shut her out of a family decision that had been part of her life for nearly a decade, a final sign that her voice no longer mattered to him, a final confirmation that she was no longer seen as a wife, a partner, or even an equal stakeholder, and the producers captured every tear, every pause, every moment where the hurt finally surfaced after years of her being asked to stay quiet, stay patient, stay agreeable, and stay in a marriage that gave her nothing back, while Cody continued to defend himself by insisting he was just trying to keep the process efficient and avoid legal delays, but even he seemed rattled when the director asked whether the agreement was meant to prevent Mary from speaking out, because the question forced him to acknowledge the emotional implications he tried so hard to deny, and when the footage cut to Robyn confronting Cody about the man he used to be, the generous, kind, fair man she once admired, Cody, for the first time in the entire segment, looked genuinely shaken, admitting that he needed to become a better man, a confession that only added to the complexity of a situation already spiraling out of control, while Christine's absence loomed large over the entire discussion, her decision to sell back her share years earlier suddenly seeming like the wisest move of all, and now, with the land sold for $1.5 million in real life, this televised unraveling served as the emotional closing ceremony of a dream that never came true, the dream of 4 wives living together on shared land, raising children as one large united family, and the heartbreaking reality that instead, the land became the physical symbol of every fracture, every betrayal, every broken promise, and every truth that had been waiting in the wings for years, and as Mary cried, Janelle defended herself with documents, Robyn walked the line between defender and accuser, and Cody struggled to rewrite his choices with emotional justification. The Audience could finally see the full scope of the implosion that had been happening behind closed doors, the implosion that turned Coyote Pass from a dream into the Brown family's final battleground, the implosion that made Mary realize she couldn't stay silent anymore, the implosion that made Janelle refuse to let her integrity be questioned, the implosion that made Robyn rethink the man she married, and the implosion that made Cody confront the most painful truth of all, that in trying to hold the family together on his terms, he ended up pushing them all apart, and now, as the dust settles, the receipts are on the table, the confidentiality agreement has been exposed, the accusations have been answered, and the emotional fallout is finally here, raw, unfiltered, and impossible to ignore, setting the stage for a Sister Wives episode that doesn't just revisit old wounds. It reveals the ones no one dared to talk about until now, leaving fans bracing for what comes next, because if this is the truth they're willing to share on camera, the real story behind the scenes is undoubtedly even more explosive, even more heartbreaking, and even more defining for a family whose every fracture has now been laid bare for the world to see.